Here's a new way to look at things, or a different perspective. Have you ever thought of flowers, even some vegetables and fruits, as stars? So I'll explain what I mean by stars. I mean repeating patterns, geometry patterns that are repeating. Patterns of 4s, 5s, 6s, 8s, and of course the spiral, which this flower spirals, and I have videos explaining what I think the symbolism of a spiral is, as well as why things in nature probably have a spiral, the efficiency and the strength and resilience that a spiral shape can give. So let's talk first about what I mean by stars, because you could see it, I mean, even in fruits and vegetables, we can see the star-like pattern. And the way I see it is, here's an atom, looks like a six-sided star to me. But the way I see it is you take the shape and you could draw a little circle in the center and make some petals. And here we would have four-sided petals, or a four-sided star. Here we might have five-sided petals, which we see a lot in the nature and the flowers that we have all around us. Below it we have a six-sided star. And you know, I could do two things. I could connect the vertices and actually make a star. So I'm going to connect each point to every other point, and we'll see what kind of a six-sided star it makes. We could do this with 7, with 8. So here's a six-sided star. We could do that with the one next to it, which is a seven-sided star. But thinking of it as a flower, as I've shown with lilies and daffodils, you would have the center and a petal repeating, making what to me looks like a little star. So the symbolism of a flower is of life, and the symbolism of a star is life. So maybe it's because a star, or a flower, really is a form of star. It's a repeating pattern. Here's 7. And I believe this is the seven-sided star, and you can see a heptagon or septagon, seven-sided shape in the middle. Just like over here, we could see the hexagon in the middle. So, you know, we could do this whether there's eight sides. We do see flowers with petals of 8. Make a real sloppy 8-sided star, or 8-sided flower petal. And we can do as much as 22. So we do see flowers with a very high number of petals. It's not always 5s and 6s. And of course the spiral. So the spiral, we learned, comes from Fibonacci's number. There's videos for that. And the idea is, if we cut this into a square, and then cut a square out here in the new shape, and we have another rectangle, we cut a square out here as well, and then cut a square out here, and we keep doing that, we would be able to use quarter circles to make a Fibonacci spiral. So the spiral is related to these geometric shapes because of the geometry pattern of the Fibonacci sequence. And of course, some flowers, like a sunflower, pine cones, and many other things, will spiral, as do the stars. I once had a dream that the sunlight was hitting my body and the energy would spiral into my body, into the atom. So who knows if the whole galaxy and everything starts to spiral, because maybe all the energy inside of us, just a completely random idea, what if all the energy is spiraling around in the atoms? That would be neat to find out. But there's definitely something to the spiral. Like I said, I have videos about maybe why practically it's just a very efficient, flexible, and strong way to move things, like moving water down a drain. But I just wanted to go over showing you some visuals of what I mean by stars, right? You can kind of see a five-sided shape, so you can, again, think of this as a five-sided star. This is a plumeria, so is this one. Here you have patterns of 2 and 2, which make a rectangular star or a four-sided star. Here, five-sided star. And then even in the center, when you zoom in, you see little stars in most of the flowers where they pollinate. Here's a plumeria opening. They open in a spiral and then have five-sided star. This is, I don't know if this is a dragon fruit. No, I think it's some kind of desert plant. We have lilies. So again and again, we can look down on things and see them as a star. Some of the flowers, you know, they even look like a star in the sky, a big ball of fire. Here we have a five-sided flower, and when you look down on it again, to me, I can see these as a center, and then the lines coming out, forming a star. Let's go through some more. So inside of this flower, even though it's just, I think, two little petals, the very center of it has little five-sided stars inside. Here's another, here's a hibiscus flower, and time and again you see common patterns, like these have patterns of 5. This is patterns of 8, or an 8-sided star. And you can see, you know, someone had posted some of the geometry patterns. So when I tend to look at a flower, I sort of connect the dots somewhat like this to see it as a star. Let's go and see if we can find some fruit. So we obviously see in roses and sunflowers and pine cones the spiral shape, which will always have one of the Fibonacci numbers. Here's a 6-sided star. The center of most roses, again, to me looks like a star or a sunshine, which the sun is a star. Here we have a hibiscus, and the center looks like a star, and then they have the 5-sided shape in the very center. A dandelion looks to me like a big bright sunshine, a star. Here we have spiraling around, like the galaxy, we have a rose. Inside this yellow flower, it looks like a 5-sided star. We have little 5-sided stars as well, where the pollen is. Here are some white flowers, look like little 5-sided stars. This again looks like 5-sided petals, and the inside, the center of it, where the pollen is, looks like a star. So things that are geometrically shaped, patterns of 4s, or 5s, 6s, sometimes 8, sometimes more, other times spiraling around. And over again, now that I go on walks, I think of things as stars. So looking down from the top view, trees and things like the aloe vera look like a star. Here's the bottom of a fig, or no, it might be a loquat, and they have little 5-sided stars. This flower to me looks like a burning sunshine, or a star with many sides. I haven't counted how many. Here is a strawberry bud, I believe. Here is a dragon fruit. Outside has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 on the outside. Many little purple stars, or multi-shaped patterns that repeat with symmetry. In the middle it has a 5-sided star with the green stuff. And then oftentimes this little red one, or burgundy, is a little bit more evenly spaced out to make a triangle, a triangular star. Here is a Camellia. It's a spiraling star. Here is another flower when you look at the insides. This is what it looks like hanging. I forget the name of that. Of course, snowflakes to me look like stars. Here I got to try today for the first time a star fruit. Here's another dragon fruit. So if you've ever noticed a lot of our fruits and vegetables, I could think of a cactus as a three-sided star. An apple has five-sided star inside where the seeds grow. A lot of times the seeds will grow in the same patterns or in a spiral shape. Here is an orange blossom. And then, not just the petals, but even around it, to me, the repeating pattern looks like a star, but the very center does as well. I think of it as a star, and you could even see little five-sided star flowers on the outside, and then the little balls of pollen on the inside. Here too, the stuff in the very center looks like a star to me. So it's nothing spectacularly new, but it's just a different way to look at things. Here's a cactus with five-sided star. It's sort of noticing the geometry patterns all around us, in the things that we eat, in the things that we enjoy, in the things that are beautiful. Spiraling patterns. Even a watermelon from the side looks like a star. Circle in the center. Here's a blueberry. So if you've ever noticed, the blueberry has a five-sided pattern, and when you cut it open, the seeds spiral around and are placed in the five-sided pattern. Here's little patterns of four. Both the flower itself, but then each flower has four around, and it spirals in the center, and of course it looks like a star. So again, just a different way of looking at things. Both flowers and many fruits, many vegetables and things that we love really do have a star pattern, or at the very least we could say they have geometric patterns and repeating patterns and symmetry and some beautiful geometry as well. There's a strawberry. Looks like the center is a circle, and then the little white things kind of spread out in a star shape. I believe the seeds kind of spiral around on the outside. The watermelon itself has a three-sided star, and each little diagonal has a spiral. Really, if you count, you can see a six-sided pattern as well. Here's corn on the cob. Again, to me, from this point of view, looks like a star. Here's a desert plant. Both five-sided petals, and then a cute star shape in the center. Here's a cactus. Here's a seed from a tree. To me, again, looks like a star, 3D. Spiraling shape, obviously, like the galaxy, kind of looks like a star. And even different plants from the top-down view, they just look like a star, even trees in many respects, even grass beginning to grow. Here's a cactus from the top down. It really looks like a star with many 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14-sided pattern. Here from the top down also looks like a star. So just a different perspective, like I said. Going on walks now, I take a look for stars. Here's the bottom of a fig. Even the little things you blow off a dandelion look to me like little stars. Some of the fruit we have, when you cut it, looks like stars. Even a pineapple. Here's an orange. The bottom of a pomegranate. So again, just something to take a look at and appreciate. This is a persimmon. On the outside looks like a four-sided star. On the inside it does have four sides, but each of those sides have two little branches. Here is another seedling from a bush or a tree. Even raspberries and blackberries look like, geometric patterns of stars that spiral around. There's another version of an orange. So let me know what you think. if you start looking at things differently when you go out into the garden and go for a walk, maybe you'll start to see things as repeating patterns in stars, and just see how common certain patterns are, like the spiral, the number 5, and the number 6. Pickles and cucumbers have little patterns of 3. Garlic looks like a star. Here's a cactus. This, I believe, is the bud of a persimmon starting to grow. It had fallen on the street. Here's I forget the name of this. It's in the park. It smells really nice. So it spirals around again from the top down. Here's a kiwi. Here's a lime. Spirals and stars. Tomatoes also have 3, sort of like a cucumber. So maybe you've never, really thought about it. Here's an onion. Looks like a star. And maybe you have. Here's a pentagon. The papaya has a 5-sided star. Of course, a dandelion looks like a star, but even the little things you blow off, we had noticed, also have a star shape. And here's a cactus growing. Looks like little stars. Top of a jalapeno or a pepper. It's not a jalapeno. Here is a type of squash. A lemon. So just a thought, looking at fruit, looking at flowers, and looking at a lot of different geometric designs as really star designs or symmetrical patterns that repeat, start to notice a lot of things in common.